Hi, my name is Bumi Afolabi. I'm popularly known as Mr. Speaker. I'm passionate about people communicating more effectively, becoming better public speakers so that they can articulate their thoughts, drive their teams to change, and achieve great things in their chosen sphere of influence, okay? I also take people on content creation, how to manage crisis communication, and the likes. But for the last couple of videos, we've been looking at public speaking. We've talked about how to overcome stage fright. And now we've been looking at building blocks of how you can look and sound more confident on stage. Yes. Now, in the last video, got to the point where I was talking about your material, owning it, being able to articulate your thoughts effectively, making a complicated concept simple to the point that anybody at any level of thinking can relate to the concepts that you just churned out. You don't want to put out the complicated stuff. You should make it simple. And that way you become unforgettable. All right. So now the next thing we're going to be looking at is while you're preparing your material, you've prepared it in such a way that you can deliver it with ease, whether your presentation slides don't come up or your tablet PC like mine goes off or something like that. The next thing you need to do that boosts your confidence. Remember where we started from a couple of videos ago about some people I was coaching on public speaking where someone said, what if I forget what I want to say? Or what if someone asks me a question that I wasn't prepared for? A mentor of mine often says that the punch that destabilizes the boxer is not the toughest punch. It's the one he or she wasn't prepared for. Yes. So what do? You need to sit down, ask yourself, who's the crowd I'm going to be speaking to? What's their level of expertise? What do they know about the subject matter? How deep are they willing to go? How many minutes do I have or how many hours do I have to deliver my presentation? Because that will determine. For example, if you have, let's say you were allotted 45 minutes and you ask, is this 45 minutes inclusive of question and answer sessions? It's important that you get that information right. Oh no, you're going to speak for 45 minutes, then we leave another 15 minutes for questions, comments, and clarifications. Fantastic. Then you know that you start out early, hit your salient points early, and then once you get to the 40-minute mark, you start rounding off so that you can wrap it up within 42, 43 minutes. But in the event where you're supposed to accommodate questions within the 45 minutes, it's just fair to leave about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes for questions. So that means you must structure your presentation in such a way that you can deliver it within 30 to 40 minutes. Within 30 to 35 minutes, and then leave the rest of the time for questions. Now, the question is, has somebody spoken about this subject matter in this kind of symposium before? Can I find the videos on YouTube? Can I find them on any platform? What kind of questions do people ask? Because many times that question that you said destabilized you may not have just come from the moon. It may just be that you didn't do a deep dive enough regarding your subject matter. So you need to anticipate all sorts of questions. After anticipating, does that mean that someone cannot still throw you a sliding tackle? Well, these things happen. I've had it happen to me before, but I've never been in a scenario before where I didn't prepare enough that someone threw a sliding tackle and I couldn't return it. Yeah, I always return it back. That is how it should be. So have your questions, anticipated questions ready. Have them in your mind. You've answered them severally. Then we now talk about physical readiness. In one of the previous videos, we already talked about breathing exercises to boost your confidence. So I'm not going to be repeating that. The next thing will be posture and presence. How do you stand in front of the audience? We will still have some videos that talk extensively about body language. I know, yes, this is something to prepare your mind ahead of that. I deliberately left this on the screen because I knew I was going to talk a bit about posture and presence. What do different stances typify? I recall seeing a TV series where a psychologist who used to work as a trial science expert used to help lawyers in their cases. And a boy drowned in some school and he was questioning some of his sorority boys, some of his, fraternity boys. And one of them sat in such a way that when the psychologist was reviewing the videos, he said, I knew that those boys knew something about the boy that drowned. And they asked him, how did you know? He said the guy sat in such a way that his legs were positioned in such a way like he just wanted to run out of the place unconsciously. Yeah, that already smells and looks like being guilty. So you need to understand what each stance says. When you gesticulate with your hands, I remember trying to coach someone on hand gestures, and for the first class, she was a mess. Hand gesture, the lady was doing her hand like she was trying to beat traffic. You come, no, you go, you come back. Or you have someone who stands in front of people and says, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited to be here. And he's saying, I'm excited to be here. You see that I almost ran into the screen. Yes. And the dude was busy running back and saying, I'm excited to be. I'm like, no, this guy is not excited to be here. This guy feels like dying. So you don't want to have those kind of funny postures. Someone said, must I use my hands? Again, like I told you, we'll still delve into the issue of body language and posture a lot deeper. But this is just to build your confidence. I'm giving you the peripherals, okay? Must you always use your hands? No. Yeah. But I love to use my hands because I understand that my face, my gesture, the tone of my voice, the way I communicate, my eye contact, the way my hands gesticulate, all have a separate message they are putting out. I'm a professional. I've been doing this for years, and that's why I can do a combination of all of them. But in later videos, we will take them bit by bit. Eye contact. When is eye contact appropriate? When does it become too much? Like you are a stalker, or you're planning on dropping a bomb in that place and running out through the back door. You know, there's a thin line, so we need to check it, okay? How do I stand on stage? Do I stand arms akimbo? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very excited to come and deliver this paper here. I was like, no, are you hounding us? What have we done wrong? We just came for the symposium. We didn't kill anybody. We didn't do anything wrong, okay? So your posture should evoke confidence. The way I'm standing, you can tell that I'm confident, okay? Your legs a bit opened, okay? Not arcing in there, okay? A bit opened, your stance confident, relaxed, your shoulders, okay, at the same level, but, you know, just at the right level, not this way, you know, like you have some boil in your armpits, okay? You have your shoulders in the right place. You could have your hands beside you if you're not yet a master of gesticulating with your hands, okay? And then, of course, you need to find out ahead. Are they going to give you a handheld microphone, or are you going to be using headphones like they do a lot in TED Talks? You need to find out all of those. And when you get on stage, you don't necessarily need to walk around a lot because some people make a mess of it. There's a way to do the walking around, which we'll talk about in further videos. But this is just the basic of it. You could stand in one position. Make sure your voice is commanding enough to let people know that you know what you're talking about, but it doesn't sound aggressive, like you're trying to tell them your money or your life. No. Then, in areas where you want to make emphasis, you need to tone your voice. Someone said our voices are like a keyboard. They actually play music. So you need to play the right kind of music with your voice. I just got the signal that we need to round off this video, this particular video, and get into the next video where we will talk more about structuring a compelling talk. I've talked a bit about the body language. I've talked a bit about how to use your hands, where your shoulders should be, how you should look, and where you should stand. If you cannot maximize the position around you, we will talk about that in previous and in further videos. You could stand on one spot, stand confidently, okay, with your legs open slightly, which evokes confidence, and deliver, marshal out your points. So the next coming videos, we'll talk more about confidence from structuring a compelling talk, how to marshal out your points, and we'll build it on like that. My name is Mr. Speaker, and I endorse this video.